Hi and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a portal that actually goes with any terrain you want. It's very simple to make, and this is going to be a step-by-step tutorial showing you how to do it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me down below, or you can email me at thecraftingmuse.email@gmail.com. So for now, sit tight and I'll see you later. For a list of supplies, please check the description below. Links are included whenever possible. To get your portal started, you're first going to want to get a hold of double corrugated cardboard. And here I have just a simple rectangular shape cut out of the cardboard. The next thing I did, just to make adding some details easier, was to cut out this little tab notch at the bottom. Then I did a freehand form of how I want my portal shape to be in general. And from that, you basically just cut it out around your outline, and that is going to give you the base for your portal entry. To give this portal a more ethereal, sort of magical look to it, I found this really great glitter felt, and the glitter has a bunch of different colors to it, so as you move it around in the light, it takes on different tones. So what you want to do with your hot glue gun is put hot glue onto the double corrugated cardboard, and then place this onto your felt, making sure that glitter side is facing down when you do this, so that when you cut this free, the glitter side is facing up towards you when you are done. The next thing you're going to do is put foam board onto the other side of the double corrugated cardboard, again using your hot glue gun. Now, when it comes time to cutting the form free of the foam board, what you want to do is trace a line that gives you more space between the felt and the outer edge of the foam board, because this is where you're going to start adding stone details. So you do not want this to be the same size as your double corrugated cardboard. You actually want it to be a little bit bigger. For the stone detail to the front part of the portal, what I did was just taking scraps of foam board, I cut out various sizes of bricks and then hot glued those to where the foam board is facing up at you, but not on to the felt itself. You want to have these butt up against the edge of the felt, and they're adhered to the foam board behind it. And this is going to help you start creating the stone facade to the front of your portal. When it comes to the back, you're going to be using a different technique. As you can see, I did cut off the tab at this point, which I don't recommend doing. In fact, keep that tab on towards the bitter end, because I was kicking myself later when it was coming time to paint this. So keep that tab on, even though this photo shows it gone. For the back part of the foam board section, you do want to make sure that the bricks from the front align nicely with the edge of this form. However, I decided to take a mechanical pencil instead to draw out the brick shapes instead of doing another layer of the individual bricks. You want to make sure though that when you're using your mechanical pencil that you don't press down too hard and tear at the foam. You could also use a ballpoint pen if you so choose. I just couldn't find mine that night. Now we're going to move on to giving the portal its magical look by painting these metallic paints onto the glitter felt itself. Now this combination is what I decided to use. You can obviously go about with whatever color blends you want to. However, you do want to make sure that these particular paints are metallic based, because it's what gives it its more shimmery, magical look to it. But for what I did, I went with an ice pearl here, along with a purple pearl, then moved on to an antique copper, a basic silver, and finally a royal gold. To start creating these swirls, I first started with the antique copper. Once I got my basic swirls established using this color, I then went to my ice blue pearl color as well as the purple pearl color, and I did those colors one on either side of the initial swirl. Then what you're going to do is go back and take the royal gold, and you're actually going to stipple that color onto the first three areas where there are the swirls of different colors. And you do want to make sure it gets some coverage on each of the colors, but you don't want to completely negate out the original colors. This is sort of blending them together a little bit with that gold tone. Finally, what you're going to do is go in with the silver, and you're going to stipple the silver around the edge of the portal where the felt and the foam board meet, and you're going to draw that out to sort of give it a foggy look. The other thing I did do is go back in and create some stronger silver swirls using just the silver metallic color. And this is how I created that swirling, magical, foggy look to the portal itself using the glitter felt and the metallic paints. Now we're going to address the stonework around the portal itself. So the first thing you want to do for your base coat is you're going to mix this English navy with pavement and an equal part of Mod Podge, mixing all three of those together. So you get this very deep navy blue colored base coat, and you're going to paint both front and back of the stonework to your portal. This is where that cardboard tab would come in very handy if I hadn't cut mine off. So keep yours on and get the whole thing nicely saturated and painted up. Don't go too heavy-handed or you will mute the stonework on the back of your portal. When that base coat is completely dry, we're then going to move on to doing a series of dry brushing with this combination of colors. So as you can see here, I have this royal violet, then I have a marsh green, moving on to a nice yellow coppery tone, and I have a metallic, I believe that's red ruby, and then there's also a granite gray that's going to be mixed into doing, again, a series of dry brushing to bring out the details of the stone and add some depths of colors to the stones as well. When it comes to doing a dry brush technique, you want to make sure that your brush is dry, have a wad of paper towel next to you so you can blot off any excess paint, and you want to keep your strokes even and not too heavy-handed. Lighter is better so you can add color. It's a lot harder to take away color than it is to put it a little bit more on. Now, if you notice here, I've taken a picture of my flat stencil brush. I find that this is very helpful for doing this type of dry brushing onto stone. It just disperses the paint a little bit better. So we're going to first start with the purple color, and you're going to do both the back and the front. I find it's easier to start with the back and then flip over to the front. Let this dry a little bit before we move on to our next color, which is the marsh green. Again, same thing, start with the back, move on to the front, give that a little bit of time to dry, flip back over to the back, add the copper tone in, and again, back to front. And at this point, we are going to change the style brush being used. Using a smaller, narrower brush, you are then going to add on the metallic ruby color with the dry brush technique, again back to front or front to back in this case because things have dried a little bit, and you're going to wrap it up and let this color dry completely before you do a final dry brush with the granite gray, which is going to bring out the details and the edges. And I do recommend going around a little bit with that paintbrush and try and highlight the edges of the stones that stick out a little bit more on the front part and highlight the depths and the differences that you have in the back part of the portal as well. When this is completely dry, you are then going to jump in and add in your wash. For the wash in this case, to give nod to the original deep navy blue base coat, I'm using the Citadel shade of Drakenhof Nightshade, and I've just put that on both the back and the front where the stonework is on this portal. Do not put this where the felt is. If you do not have this wash, that is perfectly alright. You can actually go back to your original mix of the English navy and the pavement, thin it out until it's very watery with some water, and you can use that as your wash instead. For the moss that I added onto the portal, I basically just harvested it from these moss stones you can find at Dollar Tree. If you can't get a hold of these, you can always just resort to just using some mossy green flock and some white glue and put the glue in the areas where you want your moss to be and then put the flock on top. And of course, make sure everything dries completely before you start manipulating this around. Also, at this point is where I would recommend cutting off that cardboard tab that I used to have on there but cut off prematurely on my end. Now we get to the point where we're going to put this on a base that makes this portal able to go on any style of terrain you might have. What you want to do is get a hold of a clear piece of thicker plastic. I find my vegetable and fruit containers have just the right consistency, so you can just take the lid off of one of those things and clean it, of course, unless you want it to smell like strawberries. And you're going to cut out a length of plastic that is a little bit longer than your portal and obviously a little bit wider than your portal. I decided to round the edges of my piece of plastic just so it wasn't too sharp, and then what you do is with your hot glue gun, you're going to attach this plastic to the bottom of your portal, and then your portal is going to be able to stand upright on its own. To negate the high shine you may have to this plastic, you want to take some matte Mod Podge and paint it onto the plastic where it is exposed. You will find that this mattes down that shine that is on the plastic. To wrap things up, I just took some little random bits of plastic frond plants that I had left over, and I hot glued those against the base of the portal and the plastic just to kind of give it this sort of, plants growing out of the stone look. That part is completely optional to you, however. So this is basically how you create this all-terrain portal using just some simple supplies around your house. And I decided for the final look to show you this portal on the various types of terrain that we have and that we put to use in our games. Because of that clear plastic on the bottom, it really does show off the terrain that it's resting on top of, so you can really take advantage of the fact that this is a completely modular portal that you can move around and bring back in again to different points of your campaign, and it's going to blend in nicely to the terrain because of the clear bottom. Thank you so much for stopping by today and giving this video a watch. If you have any questions about this process, please comment below, or you can email me at thecraftingmuse.email@gmail.com. If you like this video, go ahead and give this a like, and feel free to subscribe if you'd like to as well. Thanks so much and have a good one. Hi and welcome back to the channel. That's not good. I say hi and I forget what I'm going to say. Hi. Hello.
I think that was it! What do you think?
I gotta go 2 of these today with a wardrobe change. Crud. Hi and welcome back to the channel. These are cutting. Yay! Hee hee. Can you say hello? Oh, you're smushy sweet this morning. Hi. You're my kitty cat. There. There. Stay right